Cool. All right. So the title is How to Be an Adult Gorilla. I always like a snappy title. But what I'm interested in is really about accepting the challenge of life. Um, as you know, you're in the military. We make plans so God can laugh at them. And as you know, God is a superior officer, and so things change around a lot. I admire you guys, your ability to turn on a dime, turn on a penny, and get things done. So how do you handle chaos? How do you handle the ever-changing world of life? And the point I want to present really is that chaos, stress, challenge is good for you if you handle it the right way. So I have a ton of information here. So I won't apologize that, but I will just get cracking. All right. So what is the adult gorilla bit about? Well, as you can see, I was shown this a long time ago, and it made a lot of sense. It pits the vitality or the sort of the aliveness span of a gorilla in the wild, and that's very important, versus the modern human. And as you can see, the red line, the gorilla in the wild, shoots up, but then maintains a very steady level of vitality, health, vibrancy. You know, the old sense of the senior silverback gorillas being the most respected members of the pack. And then there's a very quick decline into death. If you compare that against the modern human, same sort of thing. Very quick progression to fully grown. Then we have a few glory years at the top, and then it's this long, slow decline until we cark it. And so when I was shown this, the guy was saying, be a gorilla, be an adult gorilla, don't be a human, live well. But my question was like, why? What gorillas in the wild have no supermarkets, they have no paramedics, they have no hospitals, they have no tech, you know, they have nothing. Why is their life, their vitality so much better than ours? See, it took me a long time, and I think the reason for this and the whole foundation for this tonight is that modern humans, we have a world of safety and convenience. We've stripped the challenge out, and that is why we decline. We've become fragile, if you like, because there's no stress, no challenge, nothing to meet. And interestingly, if you put a gorilla in a zoo, take them out of the wild or raise them in captivity, they conform to this human line. Long, slow decline until carking it. We've gotten too comfortable, right? Now, I know modern stress is luxury stress. I know it doesn't seem like luxury stress. But the problem with a life of comfort and convenience is that the small things become big things. The small stuff becomes blown up. And in our lives, our modern lives have gone beyond survival. We're in the luxurious position, really, of getting stressed about traffic, of worrying about the printer not working, of freaking out because the supermarket queue is too long. But even those bigger things, I didn't get promoted over her. I have to stay in the military because of the pension trap. My partner's being an ass. We worry about the president of some other country. Right? In a survival situation, you don't have the luxury of worrying and getting stressed about some of the things that we do. I mean, look at a stress of a gorilla's life, say in the wild. It's immediate, it's present. What do I eat? Who's going to eat me? Right? I mean, not much is going to eat an adult gorilla, but it's that just dog eat dog world. How do I survive? How do I protect me and mine? And I know a lot of you guys have told me on tour, almost with a guilty look on your face, was like, you know, tour was incredible. It was the best time of my life. You know, why was that? Well, the threat was known, it was clear, unavoidable. You knew what you're dealing with, but you had a plan. You had a team who were all there for the same thing. And probably most importantly, you chose to be there. You knew what you're in for. You kind of knew the rules, and you forgot everything else. So very simple existence. Incredibly dangerous, yeah, but simple. simple, satisfying. Until, of course, something huge happens, right? Casualties or something back home, of course. But what I'm trying to say is that perspective changes everything. I know when I've spent 5 days in the mountain, coming back, the best thing in my life is a hot shower and a hot meal, right? Not one that you eat out of a bag. You know that. It's like, yes, but how quickly do we forget that? How quickly is it just so nice? We just expect that thing to happen. So perspective, perspective. And the last point there is, about a cog and a machine, is that is a very real, very big source of stress. Like feeling like you have no control. And I know the military is a big machine, and it's like, well, you see so much and how it could be improved out of sight, yet it seems that you have no say. I feel like I'm out of control, right? So I'm not diminishing that, but I am saying there is a way out. And the question really is, how can you introduce control, in this case, in your life? The kind of control, the kind of choice that no one can take away from you. Yeah, that's the kind of the being an adult gorilla that I'm talking about. So this is the problem. We need stress, we need challenge to stay alive, to stay vital, to stay healthy, really. But we don't know how to choose our stress. I mean, how do you find that sweet spot between, yeah, challenge and freaking out, between not enough and just getting bored and disengaged? Now, what this will mean, and it will be uncomfortable for you, is putting yourself first, is thinking of yourself and what's truly important to you for a big chunk of your day. And that's not that, I know that doesn't come easily for you. But if you do that, if you have that kind of stability and vitality, then you can help everybody else. Let me explain. Hopefully it comes a bit more clear. Right. I think our problem essentially is a lack of planning. We don't ever sit down and go, what do I want my life to be about? We clearly don't know what we want to see. And as the saying goes, if you don't know what you want, you get a lot of what you don't want. And we might have goals here and there, but not to cover all our bases. All right. I say challenges of your choosing that for all of the parts of your life, and we're multi-dimensional beings. We're not just work family. We're much bigger than that, and I'll tell you more in a minute. But if you have challenge and something you're growing and aiming for in all of those areas, man, life takes on a different dimension. Now, before we get into this, some of you will be carrying too much challenge. There is a time to approach and tackle, and there's a time to step back and nurture, recover, reintegrate. It's a big word. I didn't say it very well, but there's a season for all things, right? There's a season for all things. And that's one of the clearest things you can work out is, am I carrying too much? Is there too much going on? In which case, if the world is falling down around you, the last thing you need is too many more challenges. Now, one challenge, say, can keep you on track. When all hell's breaking loose up here, or maybe in your family, just having a mission can help you building, help you going. And that's why so often, you hear the med centers recommending someone's downgraded, excuse the lack of knowledge of the right terms, but they're taken off duty. They're sent out sweeping the street, so to speak, sweeping the parade ground. And it's like, no, give them something to get their heads into, right? The last thing you want to do is remove them from everything that gave them a purpose. So, but this is for you. Just be careful. If you're carrying too much, session 2 is for you. All about recovery, integration, coming back online, and then you can bite off something chewy, something satisfying. Okay? Cool. So with that proviso, I love this model. When I said we're multidimensional beings, this is what I meant. Because so often before I saw this, my thinking was, okay, family, work, family, relationships, money, and maybe a bit of fun on the side. But I think if you take into account of this, you're going to have a much more stable, as I say, I've said it too many times already, but vital life. And really, it's about where are you going? What are you building? What's your vision for life? What does success look like to you? Not the standard script of this is a successful life, but what is it to you? What does it feel like? What does it look like? We don't often sit down and work that out, critically, cold-heartedly. I want that. I love that. We so often get swept along with the tide, right? So this is a great model. Finance. Let me explain them. Finance covers not just money, but how you make your money. What is your career? What is the conditions, your interest there? Now, for me, it's necessary that I make my passion my career, that finance umbrella. But for so many, it's more than enough just to clock in, clock out, do a good job, but not really let it take your soul. I have a good friend who his job, he just says, is fun tickets. He just goes there so he can get the money, so he can spend it on the things that he wants to spend it on. The meaning that comes under that finance/career umbrella is totally up to you. Family and friends, this is another critical point, but it's those relationships, our bonds. It don't need to be many, but quality relationships are important to us. We're essentially tribal beasts, and that is key. And I put radiators and drains there just to remind you that not all bonds are useful. Radiators, the people that you hang out with, they give to you. They radiate goodness and I like that guy, I like that person, versus the drains. It's not a plumbing analogy, it's the people that suck you dry. And when you look at it with a cold, steely gaze, sometimes you go, you know what, I've got to spend more time with those people and less time with those people. Fun, it's critical. Yeah, you gotta have, and fun is a frivolous term, but what makes you come alive? Really working out and understanding the things, the interests, the hobbies, the environments, the stuff that floats your boat. Because so many people are still just not sure. Fitness, of course, very, very, very important. I want to live as long as I can, but not only as long as I can, but as healthy as I can. I want to be running in the mountains when I'm 70, 80, 90, right? I want to keep this going. And so that starts now. The focus is more about the inner world. It's about your mindset, the way that you think, your emotional stability, how long your fuse is, how quickly you get into blind, unconscious reaction versus, hang on, this is the way that I want to behave. So that's your inner world. How can you develop that? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What does success look like in terms of that? And last of all, philanthropy, not an F, but it sounds like it. Time and time again, studies have shown that service to something bigger than yourself, to somebody else, is not only makes people happier, but it makes them healthier. All the blue zones have that kind of not only close relationships, but my life is for a reason. And maybe it's coaching that sports team. Maybe it's changing your community for the better. Maybe it's, I don't know what, you decide. That's the whole point of this. You decide. So all of these pillars are important. All of these legs of a table are important. But you recognize you might do a sprint one day. No, not one day, in a period of time. So say you're focusing on finance, your career, so you just got your head down doing that. But then the pendulum swings back after that, right? I know so many people who, until they wake up, it's all about just their careers. They're building this for their family, and then they come home and the castle that they've provided is empty because everyone's got sick of them. I'm laughing. It's not funny at all. But they step back. Whoa! I spend time invested in this, but I want to spend time invested in that as well. Or the other example is family. When you have young children, sometimes it's all in on them for a short period of time. But what I'm trying to say is have a balanced table. These 6 things seem to be really important. They're important because you can take a hit to one of them and you're still stable. You can still carry a lot of stuff on top. You can take a hit to 2 or 3 if you've got 6 legs. And although it's going to get wobblier, that stability is there. You get me? So this is a vision, a sense. How does that look? What if, without possibility? Don't get into the how, but take some time, pen, piece of paper, and just jot some stuff down. Wouldn't it be cool if, I've always wanted to go there. I've never tried that, and I want to do, right? I used to love that band. Oh, I see they're in town. I'm going to go see all of these things. Don't get stuck into the how I'm going to achieve this yet. Just dream. Okay? It's important, really important. And spend some time on that. But then the goals come. Okay, let's break it down. What do you want to see in 6 years? What can you do in the next 6 months that would kind of take you down that path towards something bigger down that 6 years? What could you do today that would make a significant step forward to the next 90 days that would fix the next 6 months, right? So have a look under those umbrellas. Set up some challenges, put some dates in the diary, pay for some stuff, organize some learning, a gym membership, some running shoes, a guitar. I don't know. What is it for you? Be specific. Be specific. What do you want to see? Who do you want to do it with? All of these things. Not so much the dream, but they're like, okay, well, what can I do in the next 90 days, next 3 months? What can I actually physically carry out? There is so much on goal setting. If you wish, I don't think, for me personally, I don't think it's necessary. It's almost like, yes, I recognize I really want to do this. Put a date in a diary, and that helps me do it. If you need more than that, AI, dare I suggest, can be a great coach. Use it in ways that really help you like this, and you can say, oh, okay, yep. I will say this. I think a good goal, and this won't be in all of the areas, but a good goal makes you slightly uncomfortable, makes you uncertain that you can actually carry it off. And they say that degree of uncertainty wants to be about 4%. 4% beyond your comfort zone. More than that, it freaks you out. It's too much. But what you're doing, big picture, is you're really zoning into what's truly important to me. You have a practical target, but you're acknowledging to yourself, this is important to me. This makes me come alive. And when you embark on the mission, I'm going to show you how to do this, of walking or progressing towards that goal, that 90-day, 6 month, 6 year, whatever the case may be, there is immense satisfaction. There's a feeling of control, because this is a challenge of my choosing. It's important to me and maybe my family, but me only. Right? And that is the key figure, right? Because you have the beginning of a why. You have a beginning of this is why I'm alive. So things can go crazy at work, and you're like, okay, I've still got this. In your personal life, I've still got this. It means you don't get lost in the small things. You don't get the small things and explode them. I can't see you, but I hope that makes sense. I'm hoping you're at home going, yes, very wise. So how do you set this up? There's 5 things. What's the plan? Just come up with a plan. Oops. And first of all, really work out, why is this important? Why? What will happen if I don't do this? What will I get out of it if I do? And really come back to that, because that can be really good fuel. I can't stay where I am. I need to do something different. I need to become something different. The pain of staying here has become more than enough. I need to shift. Or I've been talking about going to Japan forever. Now is the time to absolutely stick some dates in the diary and make it happen. To actually color my vision, my dream, with reality. Just back it up. Uncertainty, right? Well, I can't afford it. I don't have the time. I'm too busy. A trip to Japan. There's a few years ago, there's this idea of the bucket list. Write your bucket list, but get cracking on it now. Because perhaps when you realize the end is near, it might be too late. So remind yourself, why is it important? What do you need to do to get there? What's the plan? What can you do today? I found out so often that just taking a step, say you want to run a marathon, great. Grab those old running shoes and just head out for a run, walk tomorrow. The action kind of beats perfect planning. Just get going on something. But in this day and age of AI, and it will flood you with information, so be careful of that. Not always correct, but it can get you an immense thing. But just make the first step. And the other important thing is who can help. Even if you really don't know where to begin, there is someone who has done this. There's someone who's been there before. Tap into their knowledge. Say, I want to do this. How do I do it? Who can help you in terms of just accompanying you, or even holding you accountable? Say, hey, look, people in the office, look, I want to do this. Can you ask me about it constantly, please? Or to your partner, say to them, look, I really want to give up drinking. Will you help me? I really want to lose some weight. Will you help me? I've been talking about studying that thing so I can get my side hustle, that business up and running, but I need to study that thing. Will you back me on this? Right? We're tribal animals. And the presence of another supportive is immense. What's going to get in the way? Now, this is a great one, because we think we create this ideal plan. We go, yes, I'll change overnight. The world will change overnight, and I'll follow it through. You already know yourself. You already know your life. What are the obstacles that will stop you carrying out this perfect plan? The definite ones and the likely ones. Put those down, because what is known, you can expect and plan around, right? But I think so often, Michael Phelps, the champion swimmer, he not only trained in ideal conditions, but he would train with his goggles down his face. For example, so in a big race, if he dived off the block and for some reason his goggles popped off, then he would expect it. He would know what to do. He would know how many strokes to the wall, right? So his whole career wasn't blown up. His whole defining championship race wasn't messed up by something as small as a pair of goggles, which could have been anticipated. So anticipate these obstacles. Go for it. Just what might happen and what will I do about it? For example, I'm giving up drinking and I know I'm going to get pressure from these people. So I'm going to avoid them. Or I know when they start hassling me, I'm just going, no, I don't drink. Right? I want to lose weight. So I'm going to go through all the cupboards and just throw away the junk food. You wouldn't believe how many people want to lose the weight, and yet you open the cupboards and there's crisps and chocolate and the beers and you're like, what are you doing? You see it. It's a daily struggle. Get it out of your sight. I want to go running. So what I'll do is I'll set my alarm in my sight. Past my alarm, my shoes, my gear will be right there. So I just have to roll out of bed, chuck them on, and I'll get Arjuna to meet me on the corner. Boom, boom, boom. It's almost like these dominoes are too easy. I want to study, but I know I'm so tempted. I'll just waste my time on social media or searching something on YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll brick my phone. I'll set that time so I can't use my phone, so I'm forced to study. The last one, just do it. Just get cracking. We can get stuck in preparing, making the perfect plan, getting all the knowledge, gathering the information, getting ready. But I think, like I said in the beginning, nothing beats just starting, especially if you're a little nervous, a little uncertain. Just action creates momentum. So maintaining momentum. So you've got to start. And as the legend Mike Tyson once said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And that's why I was getting you. What are the obstacles? What are the things that will go wrong? What can you reliably expect? And what's your plan for them? We love to make ideal plans. Life is never, never ideal. And I think that's what causes us heartbreak. We expect that it won't happen to us, but it's never a case of if, but when. So the next bit is really to pre-decide structures and routines so that you can't fail, so that you won't quit. Let's have a look. The first one is process. Do you like my gorilla? Process over emotion. As you know, New Year's resolutions are very short-lived. Inspiration, motivation are very flammable. They've gone in a heartbeat, right? So what I'm trying to say is don't rely on feeling good. Don't rely on feeling inspired. Don't go with, how do I feel? Go with, what do I do? So put a structure, as I say. Say you're running, timing a training plan. Okay, these mornings at this time with this person at this intensity. Non-negotiable. Study time. That's non-negotiable. It's in the calendar. Got the phone bricked. That will happen. And you'll have certain times a day where you can put structure in better than some other times. For me, first thing in the morning, my kids are on my face. They're like, hey, daddy, daddy. So I'm up with them, breakfasting. I take them to school, and then I know it's my time. If I want to get anything done, I do it before they wake up. So that means a 5 o'clock wake up, which is not pleasant, but it means I've got the run done, right? Another example, you set a structure. I look at my calendar. I want to write a book. Okay, I will write. Best time for me is in the afternoon, for example. After I finish work, I will spend 20 minutes working on the book. Job done. I want to have better control over my mind and my emotions. I will meditate 15 minutes before work. That means I'll get up 15 minutes earlier. I might have to go to bed earlier, right? Whatever we're talking, exercise, study, learning, building a side business, learning about investing, whatever it is the case. What, when, where, who. Put it in the calendar, right? Make a process so it's just, oh, this is what I do at this time. Second one, focus on the rep, not the end result. You need a top of the mountain to aim at. That is so clear. But you need to focus only on the next step in front of you. If you're looking up there, you trip over. If you're looking up there, it's so easy for it to seem too far away. That's impossible. I can't do it. You get overwhelmed and freeze. You stop doing. As opposed to going, well, I can do that today. What I'm trying to say is a wall, a final goal, is made of individual bricks. And that is what you focus on. Just lay this brick, put this down, right? Like my book example, I will do 30 minutes a day, tiny amount, just a brick, just a brick, just a brick. Okay. Seinfeld, the comedian, it can be so low bar. And what I mean by that is his rep was a goal of writing one joke a day. One joke a day. Of course, some days he wrote more, but he didn't wait to feel inspired. He knew he could probably do one joke on his worst day. But what he did was built a chain. That joke, and then the next joke, and then the next joke. And he got his calendar and gave it a physical calendar on his wall, a big tick. So when he walked in and he looked at his calendar, he's going, and he said, I can't be bothered doing this today. He'd look at his calendar and go, past me has done it. I cannot leave a gap. So don't wait to feel like it. Don't wait for inspiration. Create. This is the time. This is the place. This is who I do it with. Okay. Third, very important. Lower the bar, don't drop it. And what I mean is have a fallback standard. You'll have an ideal standard, and then you'll have on my worst day, I can at least get this done. The reason this is important is because people quit because they're far too hard on themselves. And what this is saying is no, keep progressing. Don't go for perfection, the ideal, it doesn't exist. But what can you do every single day on your worst day? Set it now. Have a minimal standard. A minimal standard. If you like, you can use the if-then rule. And what I mean by that is if I don't go for a run in the morning, then I'll do 50 air squats and 50 calf raises, right? Unless I'm sick, of course. If I have to work late tonight, then I will finish on time tomorrow and make sure I spend that missed time with my kids. I've already sort of organized it. If I'm writing in my 20 minutes and I've got writer's block, I won't quit. What I'll do, if I can't create new stuff, is just review the old stuff, because the old stuff can always be reviewed. Right? So the 20 minutes is progress. It's moving along. If I want to give up drinking, but I know it's my dad's birthday coming along and I really love to have a beer with him, then for this occasion and this occasion only, I will drink, but only 3 beers. Right? So you're defining the arena before it happens to you. You're making a backup plan. You're planning for these obstacles. Well, if this happens, then I'll do that. And you've already identified those obstacles. They're all coming. You've already got the fallback worked out. Because then you see progress. Tick, 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 tick. Here's another one. Don't miss twice. Again, around people quitting because they're far too hard on themselves. They fall off the wagon and they get drunk, or they've just hooked into the kebabs and the crisps that were hiding in the cupboard because they didn't get rid of them. And they go, this is disgusting. I'm a waste of time. They just fall back, slipping back into the old standards. No, too bad. Just get back up on the horse. Don't miss twice. If you didn't brush your teeth yesterday, brush them today, right? Makes sense. It doesn't mean anything. When you're biting something off, when you're biting off something that's challenging, what's going to get in your way is the old you saying, I'm no good, I can't do this. Oh, and there you missed today, and there's proof of it. Expect the voice in your head to be brutal with this. But because you've planned for these obstacles, you know who you are, you know that sometimes you're your own worst enemy, then go, I gave into the voice for one day. She isn't going to win today. All right? Cool. You're working out, you maintain, there's nothing. I don't know anyone who doesn't feel great when they know they're making progress. Now, when you're looking at the top of the mountain, it's very hard to measure progress because it's a long way away. But if you tick off those sessions, I'm going to do this Monday to Friday, tick, 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 then you'll have a history. You can look back at a physical calendar, go, look at that, a training log, look at that, a study log, whatever. The pages written of your book, the study, I'm now on this module, crikey. 30 minutes a day doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up when you're consistent. A small brick doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up when you're consistent. So have somewhere you're aiming at, focus only on the next step, but measure backwards. That is the proof. That is your confidence. Look how far I've come. I only gave up, only missed 2 days in that whole stretch of 3 months. Well done, right? Have a goal. The goal gets there by Lao Tzu. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step and continues with these single steps. But measure backwards. Don't forget to look over your shoulder and appreciate how far you've come. Like I was saying, our mindset, last session, our mindset can often be focused on the wrong, the negative, the bad, what's missing. And that's often because we're constantly looking forward and where we want to go. We don't appreciate really ever how far we've come. Last one, junk dopamine. Consider reducing or even cutting out social media or short form video. So shorts on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels. Science is showing that it's seriously, wow, the word that the report said was destroying. Didn't know that's very scientific. It's ruining your ability to pay attention and stay on track for a long time. Absolutely been shown, proven in the latest studies. To be resilient, to reach long-term goals, to do some challenging stuff that makes you uncomfortable, you're going to need to be in for a long-term process. You're going to be, it's not sexy, is it? You're going to be happy stacking bricks, just doing the work. Here I am, building this wall, stacking bricks. You need, and you won't find this out until you actually do it, but the process is more satisfying because it shows you who you become rather than the achieving of the goal. But the trouble with social media, and I'll include gaming, porn, gambling, shopping on Amazon Prime at midnight, is that it's too good. It's too available. It's too easy. Right? You can get junk dopamine, junk flow for zero effort. Maybe a little investment in a game and a console. There is no risk to you. There is no long-term building. You don't have to try hard to get ahead. And that is the trouble with those things. So be very careful. You will have less tolerance for making yourself uncomfortable, for delaying gratification. Lasting satisfaction, good dopamine, good flow comes because this isn't the right word, but you struggle against a challenge and keep going anyway. Do you see the tension? So be very careful with your phones, with these modern quick hits. I see Australia has already banned social media for under 16s. I wonder what's going to happen, say, in 20 years. I wonder if we'll look back and go, "Oh, that was a wild experiment." Yeah. I always get nervous about this because I don't want to sound preachy, but I think it's important. As always, you're adults. See what's good for you. What else do I need to say? That's where the magic happens. 4% stretch. That's where it is. It's outside your comfort zone. The showing up, the tackling of these challenges, it gives you such an ability to deal with all challenges. You realize when you're getting stressed and that it's not useful, so you come back. You know what it's like to leave your comfort zone and keep calm and cool. Okay, never been here before, but I'm going to try. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep showing. I'm going to ask for help until I get there. I think so many people quit before they get there because they're not measuring the right things. So know that. Not comfortable, but what happens when you leave your comfort zone? The magic's not guaranteed, but there's no magic in the comfort zone. What happens when you leave your comfort zone? Your comfort zone grows, doesn't it? What yesterday was very uncomfortable, today is like, it's just breakfast. You grow into, you make the world comfortable, not by changing it, but by changing you, by coming to terms with meeting challenges head on. And that's why I guess I'm so on it about things like social media, because I know I'm all about this and I know the impact social media has on me. I have to be very careful with it because I don't want a life of comfort. That's what I want. I want to be like a gorilla in the wild, vital, alive, doing cool stuff until I cock it. I want to get to my deathbed and go, what a ride. And I'm sure you're listening. You are the same. But that's how you do it. Choose your challenge. Otherwise, life will just throw challenge at you. And you can see it all over the world. You can see it in social media. People just losing their minds about the tiniest about a diet, about politics. It's like, no, there's got to be some sanity. There's got to be some perspective. And I think you guys, especially with your experiences in the military, are best placed for this. But just extend it out. Get to a place where you choose stress and stress doesn't choose you. So do this. Take the time. Remind yourself of what's truly important. Put some dates in the diary. Connect with some people. Put some money down. Get involved in the things. Get out of the rut, which is a kind of comfort zone, and make some new things happen. Don't get so comfortable you forget what it's like to be alive. There are so many people on their deathbed right now going, gee, I wish I'd done that, but I just wasn't too certain. I wish I'd gone and talked to that person, or I wish I'd tried that. I wish I'd started out that business. You know, all the studies on people's reflections and their regrets and their deathbed wasn't the mistakes they made. It wasn't the failures. It was the fact, the ones that they didn't, where they didn't speak, where they didn't try, where they didn't venture past their comfort zone. But set it up well, and you become not resilient, but the term is anti-fragile, the thing that gets thrown around, where you don't just weather a storm, you grow because of it. And even in something like trauma, you set it up right and you get the right help and assistance. What it's going to do is take you through a process where it's not post-traumatic stress, it becomes post-traumatic. After that period, it becomes post-traumatic growth. Now, this is very nuanced and very, it needs a skilled guide, it needs skilled support and skilled understanding from the person in it. And that's why I'm putting it last. So anyone who's given up early, hopefully you're nice and nuanced with me. But there is no reason why anything should beat you down. Set this up the right way and you just continue growing all the way until, like that red line, you just go, right, that's my time. Well done, me. Pat yourself on the back. Okay, cool. That is me on the money. How about that? Just quickly, there's the Felix Fund. They support these. They will go out of your way to support you guys. So, you know, if you feel like it, if you can support them, then that would be brilliant. Cool. What have we got? I'm so happy you gentlemen joined me. Thank you for that. Let me know any questions or anything at all. Actually, next month, the next one, what I'm going to do is talk about some systems, some ideas for switching off your mind. You know, the rumination, the loops that you get into, your mind goes, oh, should I, shouldn't I, what am I going to do? And you fill your days and nights with thinking about problems. I'm going to show you a few things, just sort of logical flowcharts, really, some different ways of looking at it to learn how to switch it off. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that one. It'll be the last Thursday of May, so it'd be great to see you there. Like always, the stats on retention of information is very poor. You will forget 70–80% of this by 3 or 4 days time. Right? What are you going to integrate? What are you going to put into place? What are you going to do? What are you going to carry out? That'd be good to know. If you want to put it in the chat and let me know, or any questions, do that. Otherwise, I'll give you a couple of minutes. Otherwise, we'll call it a night.